Hello and welcome back to the Julia the Knitter podcast. This is episode 19. And if memory serves me right, I believe we are coming up to the 1-year podiversary of the podcast. So if you're just joining us here for the first time, this is a knitting podcast, or mainly about knitting and whatever other crafty stuff I happen to be getting into. I'm coming to you here from Queens, New York, where I live with my 2 crazy kids, my wild beast of a dog who's finally stopped jumping into my lap, and my handsome husband. So, if you're new, howdy, welcome, I'm glad you're here, and if you're returning, I'm still glad you're here, and I'm glad you keep coming back. So, let's dive right in. Have I got so much to show you guys today. So, I finally finished my Clark socks. It's been a few weeks, so I've got a little bit of everything going on over here today, and October is my birthday month, so we were celebrating my birthday and we have just been doing all kinds of great stuff. It's finally feeling like fall here in New York. My camera keeps going out of focus, I guess because I keep moving. As you can see, I have my sweater on today because it's a little chilly. I cannot remember the name of the sweater. I want to say Falling Leaves or something like that by Alana Dakos. In Quince & Co., whatever their worsted weight yarn is, I can't remember. But I do enjoy the sweater. It's super cozy. But anyway, enough about what I'm wearing. Enough about the weather. Let's talk about what I have been working on. So, as I mentioned, I have a finished object for you guys today. And I have my Clark socks, not one, but two socks blocked and ends woven in of this fantastic pattern by Jaclyn Salem of the Brooklyn Knit Folk podcast. I'm blanking today. Man, bear with me. I'm sorry. I knit these up out of some really nice feeling yarn by... Now I can't think of the name. Let me see if I still have my tag. Sorry, some of the neighborhood kids are running around if you can hear them. The yarn for my Astor socks. That's the name of the pattern that I forgot to tell you. The name of the socks is the Astor socks, and I knit them up out of this yarn by Herbstblatt Regina, who's a German dyer, and it's her Melting Snow Way colorway. I did knit from both ends of the skein, and I did find that, sorry, my dog is all about the yarn today. I did find that one half knit up much more vibrantly than the other, but you know, they're socks. Who's really going to be looking that closely? Not me. But they're nice. The pattern is really cool. It's got this nice slip stitch pattern going along the center of the top of the foot and a cable going along either side, and then along the back there's 5 rows of ribbing. It's along the center. Let's see if I take the sock off the blocker, you might be able to see it a little better. Got 5 rows of ribbing. Jaclyn always does a really cool detail along the center back of the sock, which I enjoy. And there, you get the detail of the front a little bit better. The only thing I changed, which I'm sure you guys have already assumed this because I never do short row heels like the pattern calls for. I did a heel flap and gusset just because I like the way that fits my feet better. That's all. Just a standard heel flap and gusset. And they came out really nicely. I can't wait to wear them. Today, I actually broke out a pair of knit socks today because it's just that chilly here today. I would say it's maybe in the 50s, but we really haven't had cool weather like this yet this year, and I don't know, I'm enjoying the coziness of it. My son's wearing knit socks too. He calls them snow socks. I find that amusing. But once again, here you can see the different colors in this one better. But just like all of Jaclyn's patterns, they are incredibly enjoyable to knit. They're a little bit different than everything else that's out there, and I enjoy that. I did find that because they're knit cuffed down, once I got towards the, I don't know, middle of the foot, I was kind of ready to be done with the pattern already, which I was a little surprised by because I don't normally get that way with her patterns. But I guess I don't know, my mind just wasn't where I wanted it to be doing all those slip stitches and counting what row am I on. But it was not hard, it just wasn't where my head was at in the last few weeks of the last week or so that I was working on the pattern. But I finished it up. I can't wait to wear them. They're awesome. I finished those. I have been working on my husband's sweater, as I'm going to lovingly refer to it as. This is the Knitter's Dude, which is a pattern by Andrea Rangel. And in case you're not aware, it is based on the sweater that the dude wears in the movie The Big Lebowski. And it is a sweater that's knit from the bottom up, and you knit it in the round, and then you steek it. Steekin. And you throw on the button band and the collar, and voila, you have a sweater. So, since last we spoke, I have attached the sleeves. So the sleeves are on. Sleeves. And I have finished all the color work patterns. My husband's a big guy, in case you can't tell by the sweater. And I am working on the decreases. So I might have made a mistake in the locations of the decreases, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. So after X amount of rows, you're supposed to, let me backtrack. So you're decreasing at the sleeves and you're decreasing in the body. And then after so many rows, you start decreasing at the neckline. And the way the body decreases were written, I think I did it backwards. I think I knit the left side where the right side should go and the right side where the left side should go. So I think I started doing the decreases here at the neckline, but I wasn't doing it here on one side of the sleeves. But after so many rows, you start adding those decreases in too, so I think it'll even out. So I'm not really that concerned about it. I actually start doing those decreases in a few rows. I'm really pleased with the way this is coming out. At this point, I don't have any more color changes, so it's all one color yarn. I am knitting this up out of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, which is 100% wool, and it's got a little bit of a toothy feel to it, which is nice. As you see, I got quite a bit done. I was all the way down here. I was about a few rows before you joined the sleeves on when we last spoke, and then this is where the steeks will be. They go up the center part, so I'll be cutting up that once I get done with all these decreases and the body knitting. So hopefully by the next time we speak, I'll have that done because I can. There. But we'll see. Next week is Rhinebeck. Who's going? I'll be there on Saturday. Like last year was my first year that I went, and last year I took the kids and we drove up. My parents live maybe about an hour further north than where the New York State Sheep and Wool Festival is. So we drove up on the Friday and we stayed at my parents. And then we drove down to the festival on Saturday, and then went back to my parents and hung out there Sunday and came home Sunday. And I think that's what we're going to do today. Do again this year. I'm really looking forward to going. I hope the weather's nice. I know my kids are looking forward to seeing all the sheep. I was thinking that maybe I would steal this sweater and use it as my Rhinebeck sweater, but I don't know if I'll have it done in time, and I'm not going to kill myself to have it done in time, so whatever. All you people going crazy getting your Rhinebeck sweater, more power to you. I'm not that crazy. I'm a little crazy, but not that crazy. So there's that. So this, I'm plodding away. It'll be done in the near future, I would imagine. It's big. It's a great big sweater, and I love it. I love the way it came out. It's really my first adult-sized colorwork sweater. My colorwork experience has been mainly in baby sweaters, you know, just a quick little colorwork yoke here and there, or I've done a few colorwork mittens, but that's about it. So this is the first time I've done such a huge colorwork project, and I'm really pleased with the way it came out. I learned so much doing it, and it's really been an enjoyable knit, so I'm almost sad to see it go, but at the same time I'm ready to move on to greener pastures. I have the other sweaters that I want to knit, and as you all know, Christmas is coming. I'm not ready either, but I've got a lot of knitting to do for Christmas. So there's that. We'll talk more about that shortly. But that is my dude sweater, sleeves attached. It's looking like a real sweater. As you see, I've got my holders, my yarn holder, scraps. So there's some purple hanging, dangling. And there's that. I think it'll look really cool. I think it's going to be a real cozy sweater. I think my husband is going to absolutely love it, and he'll look so handsome when he wears it. And there's that. So that's what I'm working on. Now, I know when we spoke last time, I mentioned that I really need to get my butt moving in terms of Christmas knitting. And that is no lie. I really do need to get myself together because I have no motivation right now. I have not motivation, but I really don't want to knit for anybody right now. I just want to knit for me. I'm feeling a little Scrooge-ish. But, you know, people have expectations. I knit for everybody every year, so I gotta get to it. So I did start a project, and it's just simple. I usually knit a pair of socks for my kids and my husband every Christmas. And that's like the basics of my Christmas knitting. And then from there, you know, I build on, depending on how much time I have. Do a hats for this one or something for this one. Some years I'm really ambitious and I knit sweaters. Like, I think 2 years ago I knit a sweater for my daughter. And I think we'll probably get one more winter out of that before she outgrows it, so I'll probably be knitting her a new one next year. And then last year maybe last year I knitted, I don't remember. I'm not sure. Regardless, I also knit a sweater for my son last year, and that'll get him through this winter. So next year, I think I might have to be knitting sweaters for the two of them for next year. I'm not worrying about sweaters for them this year. They're okay with what they got. So socks. So I started this. It's just a pair of vanilla socks for my daughter, who I swear that girls' feet grow so much. Sorry, I'm just fixing my double pointed needles. They're all kind of slipping out a little bit. One of these days I'm going to have to get one of those DPN holders. So this way, you know, it kind of goes across the top and holds your needles in. And so this way your yarn doesn't move around when it's sitting in your bag, because I can't tell you how many times my stitches are like hanging off and waving around and hoping that they don't unravel. But I'm knitting this up out of this yarn by Scrumptious Purl, which I've never used before. It's really nice. Let me get the fiber content. I know it's BFL. It's 80% superwash BFL and 20% nylon. And this is a Scrumptious Purl Stripe Me Up BFL base. It's not like super soft like merino is. I like BFL personally. I think it wears really nicely. It's sturdy and it's warm. It's not hard. It's just not. It's not buttery soft like merino. That's all it is. Different breed, different characteristics. That's all. But the colorway name, I don't have it written on here, but I think it's Where the Wild Things Are, like the book. It's based on that book. And it's just a vanilla sock. As you can see, there's some nice stripes in here. There's lighter blues and darker teals and cream and green. It's like a nice sage green, a light brownish gray, or maybe it's just gray, dark brown, and I love self-striping yarns, guys. They're like potato chips. Let me just get to the next one. Let me just get to the next stripe. I just love it. So they're knitting up very quickly, as you can imagine. And now I mentioned that I normally do a heel flap and gusset because I like the way that fits. Well, my daughter prefers a short row heel. So on these socks, I did put in a German short row heel. I used I use the heel instructions that Mina Phillip of the Knitting Expat puts into her sock patterns. It's super easy, and my daughter likes the way it fits her foot. Her foot's a little different than mine, but I do knit them up on a 56 stitch round. It's not a row, but 56 stitches around, and I usually try to knit them maybe a size or two bigger than her actual foot is, because I hope that she'll get more than a few weeks of wear out of them the way her feet grow. By the time next winter comes around, probably by the end of the winter, they'll not fit her anymore. But the beauty is, all of her old knit socks that she has outgrown are now in my son's drawer, and he's wearing them, his snow socks. So they all get second life, and I'm loving it. Beautiful. So anyway, my plan is to knit a pair of socks for her, and I'm a few rows away from starting the toe on this sock for her. And then I'll start the second one, and then for my son, I'm going to knit him a pair of socks with the same yarn. It's in one of these balls of yarn. It's really soft, it's really cozy. I love the colors, and I think the kids will get a kick out of having matching socks. I think for him, I'm tempted to just do like a tube sock so there's no heels, so maybe they'll last a little while too. Every time I'm knitting a pair of socks, like, is that for me? Is that for me? Where's my socks? I want some socks too. So it's about time I knit him a pair of his own socks. But he's another one. His feet grow so fast that tube socks. I'm going to have to try to do a tube sock. Maybe I'll just do ribbed. I don't know. I'm still playing it out in my head. But there's that. Now, I mentioned that these are for Christmas, and that being said, I had also mentioned last episode, that I was toying with the idea of putting together a knit-along to get all of our butts in gear with our Christmas knitting and there. So later on today in the Ravelry group, I am going to open up a thread for the Julie the Knitter, Jingle All the Way, Christmas knit-along. So it's not really any strict rules. It's really just to get us all moving and get our stuff done, and maybe say, oh, I like what you're making, that's quick, maybe I'll make that too. So it starts today. What is today? October 13th. Okay, and it's gonna go on until, I'll say, December 31st, because this way, sometimes you don't finish everything in time, and so December 31st, that's gonna be our cutoff. And you can knit whatever you want, or you can crochet or sew. It's not going to be a strictly knit along. It's going to be a make along, if you're so inclined to be making your Christmas gifts. I will open the thread, and maybe come December 31st, for all your hard work, you'll be rewarded, and there will be some kind of a prize, which I will figure out in the meantime. So get your needles clacking, and let's get knitting. I think, okay, yeah, so if you're on Instagram, which some of you are, and you want to show off your Julie the Knitter, Jingle All the Way, Christmas Knit Along projects, we're going to have a hashtag. It's going to be hashtag JTK Jingle All the Way, KAL, and I'll flash that somewhere here on the screen and post it. I can't wait to see all your projects, so keep me posted, keep me in the loop, and let's get our Christmas stuff moving. Okay. That being said, that is all the knitting that I have for today. But I know you're saying, Julia, didn't you say you had a whole ton of crap to show us? And yes, I do. So, not only have I been knitting, I have been sewing. My birthday was this past weekend, and I knit myself up a skirt. It's a little wrinkled because I wore it, and then I threw it in the laundry basket, and it's not ironed. So, this skirt is, let's see if I back up a little bit, will you be able to see it better? A little bit. Okay. So the pattern is the full circle skirt by Sew Over It, who is an indie designer out of England. And I sewed it up. I was about to say knit it up, but I stopped myself. See, I'm growing, evolving. It is a cotton fabric done by Cotton and Lawn, Cotton and Steel. It's a really lightweight cotton. It's really nice. It's this dark navy blue with these little gold, I don't know what to call them, little gold designs, and they're a little metallic, and I just really like it. I was toying with the idea of throwing pockets in here because, you know, what's a skirt without pockets these days? Because that's my favorite thing in the whole wide world, to have pockets to throw all my crap in. And time was becoming a bit of a crunch, and I just wanted to get it done. That being said, it was an incredibly simple pattern to sew. There's only a few pieces. If you're a newbie sewer, or if you've never sewn anything before, you can definitely tackle this. It's so easy. It was probably one of my best zipper installations, I will say. I always struggle with the zipper. My machine always wants to eat it. I would say it's not completely invisible. It is an invisible zip. But it looks good. I think my top band, my waistband, I didn't do perfectly, and I don't think I followed the instructions 100% the way they were intended to be. I just kind of winged it at that point because I was tired and I was having a hard time following what she was trying to say with that fold here, but I just wound up folding it all the way down and doing a top stitch to put it in place. I probably should have used a darker colored thread for the top stitching there, but you know what? It's my skirt. Who's looking? I like it anyway. There. But there. I really enjoyed it. I wore it on my birthday, and we went out to dinner with my kids and my husband, and we went to a little Italian place down the street, and it was delicious. I wore a petticoat underneath my skirt, so it was full of volume, and it was good for twirling, and my son told me I look like a princess. It was perfect. So that's that. That's what I have finished sewing. Now Halloween is coming upon us very quickly, and I make my kids' Halloween costumes. So this year my son has decided he wants to be Catboy from PJ Masks. If you are not familiar with PJ Masks, lucky you. And if you are, then you know what I'm talking about. But Catboy is his character of choice. So I'm going to be making the Catboy costume, and I'm going to be using this pattern. It's like a skid suit or a wetsuit, what have you. I'm going to make it in his size. This pattern is really cool. It comes in 22 sizes for children and adults. I saw it on Pinterest as a tutorial, I guess, for a Catboy costume. So I said, oh, you know, that's a good idea. So I'm going to do it. It'll be full long legs and long sleeves, and I think I'm probably going to do a hood attached to it, and it's going to be done with this dark blue double knit fabric, which I thought would have a little bit more stretch to it, but it doesn't. But that's okay. And then like little lightning stripes or whatever that Catboy's got all over him will be in this lighter blue. I thought this lighter blue would be a little bit lighter, but you know, it'll do for our purposes. Guys, it's Halloween. So that's that. That's one costume that I have to make, and my plan is to hopefully get all my pattern pieces and fabric cut this weekend, maybe. That's my goal. Because I have one, Catboy, and two, my daughter wants to be an archer. We went to the New York, my camera keeps going in and focus, the Renaissance Fair a few weeks ago, and you know, she was like, I don't know what I want to be, I don't know, and then she decided after the Renaissance Fair that she wants to be an archer, like a Robin Hood kind of character, you know, a bow and arrow, a cloak. So I have this pattern by Berta Kids, and it's got a nice, let's see if it'll focus a little better. A pattern for a cloak and a pattern for a tunic. I don't love the pattern for the tunic, so I think I'm going to do something a little bit differently. Maybe a little bit longer, slightly more fitted, just, you know. I've got an idea in my head of what I want it to be. Anyway, her colors of choice, you can be sick of blue. She wants a dark blue tunic, so this is just like a jersey, nice t-shirt material. And I'll do that for the tunic. And she requested a dark green cloak. So I have this dark green, it's like an olive green velvet, and that'll be her cloak. And it's like a stretch fabric too. I think her costume is actually going to be a lot easier to make, and I'm looking forward to doing that. And again, I really am hoping to get my pattern cut, I keep saying that, my pattern pieces and my fabric cut, you know, maybe this weekend. I'd like to work on it today and tomorrow and start working on the sewing during the week. With sewing, I like sewing. I enjoy sewing very much, but I can't really do it when the kids are awake because they are all about helping me sew, which is great, and I would love to encourage them. My son is just about 3, and he just wants to be, oh, let me grab these needles, let me do this, and oh, okay, my head wants to blow up. And then my daughter likes to help me sew, and she actually wants to learn to sew, so I actually see the way things work out, but maybe I'm going to have her help me sew a little bit of her costume, because I think her costumes will be fairly basic, and that should be pretty good. So those are my sewing plans, and I think that's plenty of work to keep me busy in the next in the next few weeks. You'll probably be sick of hearing about all the Halloween costumes, but Halloween will be here before you know it. If you're dressing up for Halloween, I'd love to hear what you're working on or what you're going to be dressed up as. I think my office said we could dress up for Halloween this year as long as they're office friendly. So I don't know. I have a Halloween dress that I made a few years ago that I'll probably wear with boots and tights, but it's just like a little orange dress with little short sleeves, and it's got like a charcoal gray stripes and pumpkins on it. And I love it. It's the Mesa pattern by Seamwork. And I just like it. It's comfy, it's cozy, it's t-shirt material, it's like secret pajamas. And that's that. I think that's my Halloween plan. Guys, I have so much stuff going on here. Projects up the wazoo, I feel like. But Christmas is coming, so go on to Ravelry, go on to the group page, and tell me what you're working on for Christmas in the thread. And that's all. I hope to see you guys all soon. If you are at Rhinebeck and you see me, come say hello, and I will be happy to give you a squeeze. And that's about it. I will see you all soon. Bye!